So with that being said, I think we'll transition to the jersey you're wearing. The Boston Bruins avoid another Monty meltdown against the, as I was seeing that on Twitter, from against the Leafs, defeating them in 7 games. But it was a battle of the chokes. The Leafs choke all the time, so wasn't expecting anything different. So I think, what was it, last year they broke a streak of finally not making out of the first round.
Yeah, they did. They did make it out of the first round last year,
and then lost in 5 to Florida the next series. There were some series that just kind of never should have happened. The Capitals kind of get your participation trophy for making the playoffs, but you guys got booted out of there so fast. Nice little sweep. Hurricanes dominated the Islanders. Islanders were able to win one game in double OT, but it was what are you going to do? It was a gentleman's sweep. But there were some interesting series I wanted to look at. First, a series that just ended yesterday, the Dallas Stars versus the Vegas Golden Knights. Man, this was probably the best 1-8 matchup I've seen in a while because it was just back and forth. The Vegas Knights threw the punch the first 2 games. Kind of Jack Eichel was doing his thing. The Dallas Stars then rebounded to win 3 in a row. Then the Knights defend their home court, and then it goes to a game 7. Stars strike first with a Wyatt Johnson, who was probably their MVP this series. Whenever I watched, he was just scoring all the goals, doing his thing. It was just great to watch. It was a fun series, but Stars end up winning in 7 to defeat the defending champion Knights, who kind of had a weird regular season, started off hot, then barely made the playoffs as the 8th seed.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is there a series that kind of stuck out to you most?
That was probably the best back and forth series because I know first 4 games, the away team won every one. Vegas jumped out, won both games in Dallas. Dallas returns the favor. But ever since he's come into the league, I've been such a big Jake Ottinger fan, Dallas's goalie.
Minnesota native.
Yeah, he's so good in clutch time. Went to BU actually, but he's so good. I think that was his second game 7 win, but he's only what? He's in
25.
his 25 years old. Yeah, and he's been ridiculous. So I'm pulling for the Stars just because I like him. I like watching him play. He's very good. But yeah, last night's game was good. It was tense the whole time. There was never a point where any team fell out of it all the way up until the very end.
Yeah, no, the Knights were pounding chances at the end trying to tie it up. Just didn't happen. But this was a Western Conference rematch last year, so the Stars get their revenge. And as a guy who bet money on the Stars to win the Cup before the playoffs, thank you, because I needed this. That would have been embarrassing. We're moving into the next series. I want to talk about that. I thought it was going to be a lot closer than what it actually was. The Colorado Avalanche, man, they killed the Jets. The Jets defense had no answer. I think the Avalanche scored 5 goals plus every game. Even the game they lost, they scored 6, and it was just Winnipeg had a breakout game on offense. But kind of a disappointing season for the Jets, man, to get home ice in the first round and then just win game 1 and then get smacked the next 4. I don't know what happened.
I don't really know what happened either with, like you just said, 5 goals and at least 5 goals in every game against
Connor Hellebuyck.
Yeah, who's a Vezina finalist. I think he was the best goalie this year.
Yeah.
But I think my pick going into that series was the Avalanche, just because they're more experienced, and guys like Cale Makar are just ridiculous.
Oh, Nathan McKinnon. Oh my god.
Nathan McKinnon. Yep. I know so many people say Kucherov MVP just because 100 assists, 40 goals, but I still think Nathan McKinnon is a top 3 player. The only player I think better than McKinnon is McDavid in the league.
Yeah, no, I could easily get behind that. Man, that top line is so good for him.
Yeah.
For the Avalanche. I just thought the Jets, they have some good defense, like Josh Morrissey.
Mm-hmm.
They're scrappy, but they gave Connor Hellebuyck no chance in the series. All the goals were kind of on the defense. It wasn't like Connor Hellebuyck was playing bad. He just couldn't bail them out every time. And it's disappointing to see. Obviously, the Jets exceed, I think, everyone's expectations in the regular season. But just very disappointing to see this kind of performance in the playoffs. Back-to-back years, they've won game one and lost the next four. So kind of, stinks. But, Winnipeg, kind of question marks, obviously, with the relocation possibility coming up. I still love the Winnipeg whiteout playoff. I thought that was kind of
that's one of the coolest atmospheres.
But, man, just disappointing. And it sets up a warrior fight in the second round between the Stars and Avalanche, I think.
Yeah.
We'll kind of get into previews probably tomorrow or the next day, but that's gonna be a tough series to predict. The one thing I like though for the Stars is their depth in that series. They're just I started against the Wild last year, even though the Stars weren't as good as they were this year. Just the depth they have, man, from like top line to bottom line. Just I think it's like someone said they have 8 20-goal scorers plus. Just feels like a balanced attack everywhere. And obviously Jake Onger, kind of a playoff riser. Was struggling early on in the series, but kind of bounced back nicely as the series went on. So yeah, we got that series. And then obviously we probably want to get in more depth on your Bruins win. Kind of thought the series was going to be wrapped up kind of quickly. Then we were getting those Florida series superstitions recap. Pastrnak was kind of struggling most of the series, but then gets the game-winning goal and sets up a rematch of last year's heartbreaker for Bruins fans. End up being a surprise run for Florida to the Stanley Cup Finals. Probably kind of, if you want to preview, because that series starts tonight, believe it or not, quick turnaround for the Bruins. Kind of want to give your thoughts on who you think wins this series.
I don't know, man. I mean, I've been trying to stay away from – I jumped the gun way too many times last year, and we all saw how that ended. So I think it will be a fight. It will be a fight because Florida obviously is so good. I mean, last year they were the last team in, but they were definitely not the last team talent.
Yeah, no, because the year before that they were the President's Trophy winners.
Yep, they were the best. And this year they were right up there fighting for the President's Trophy again. So Bobrovsky's a playoff riser. Kachuk's a playoff riser. That whole team, the way that team plays is just so fluid and well, and it's why they really wipe the floor with the Lightning, who are a very good team, very good playoff team, and they kind of just embarrass the Lightning. But I think it'll be a good series. I mean, going back to the Toronto series, death, taxes, and the Bruins beating the Leafs in 7.
It's awesome.
Never a doubt. But I'm excited for the series. I think I won't be surprised as well as Swayman played. Swayman was the best goalie in the first round, and I think any hockey fan will tell you that. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ullmark gets the game 1 start because it, 1, gives Swayman a rest because he just went 6 games, and 2, if you can kind of afford to lose game 1 as opposed to going Swayman until he's tired and then say you lose game 4 in a tight series. Then all of a sudden you kind of set yourself up. And who knows, maybe Ullmark plays lights out and he gives you another option which is just as good. So I don't know. I'm excited to see it though. I mean,
the power of having 2 good goalies is crucial in the series. And if one's struggling, how many times have you seen one goalie struggle, you turn to the other, and the series changes just like that?
It happened against Toronto. I mean, they put Wall in game 5, and although the Bruins won it, the last period he went in, he was lights out, and then he was lights out the next 2 games.
Yeah, no, it was, and then he missed game 7.
He got hurt in game 6, which I mean, I still think Samsonov played outstanding.
Yeah, no, he played. And you know what? That sent a message. He played well in Game 7. Allowed 1 goal through regulation, and then that bounce wasn't really on him. Just on.
It was a great feed. It was a great play. It was a
great bounce, great pass, whatever. It was a mixture of both. I thought, kind of. But with that being said, I think the series will be close. These 2 teams, Bruins had their number in the regular season, but Panthers are playoff risers, in my opinion, under Tkachuk. I think with that being said, I think I'll go Florida in 7 or 6. I think the series is going to be tight. But the Florida, man, they just got a balance of everything. Bobrovsky, just rises, like you said, rises up in the playoff. Kachuk, Barkov is so good on defense and offense, can do a little bit of everything. I think it's going to be a tough series for Boston, but I think it's going to be scrappy because the Bruins are a good team as well. But should be exciting, and I'll be curious how game one goes because maybe my prediction changes after watching the first game.
Yeah, I mean, never switch up. I learned that. I mean,
I'm not switching up.
Game one of the Toronto series, the Bruins, I think, won like 5-1. And I think it was the same story last year. So as much as you want to take game one, it's so hard because series can flip on a dime. Like you just said.
Florida has the rest right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's another huge point.
Bruins struggled to finish off the least, but got it done. But will be an exciting game to watch. I know you'll be watching that. I'll be flipping forth between, like, we got a recap tomorrow, Pacers, Knicks, Bruins, Panthers, and then hopefully I can stay awake for the Timberwolves, Nuggets, but that should be exciting.
What do you want to get? Which series you want to get into next? What was the other? I know Vancouver won in 6. They're, maybe they're not really getting talked about, but they were in the President's Trophy race as well. They were fantastic this year. They're going to be a tough team.
If you want, we can talk about maybe one more series and then talk about the rest tomorrow or something.
Yeah. You want to talk about one I actually do want to get into is actually the one that opened up yesterday is Carolina and New York, which I think is going to be
great idea. Let's do the one that actually happened, and then we'll preview Vancouver and the other ones maybe tomorrow or another day this week. I think the series game one showed it's going to be a battle. Obviously, what's his name? Mika Zibanejad.
He's
so big in that first period. 3 points, 2 goals. That second goal, man, just like the pass from Panarin to Kreider, who just fed it. Anticipation right there. That was just beautiful hockey.
Yeah, Kreider's one of the best. That whole team is it's like what you just said with the Stars. That team is so deep. They again have 2 goaltenders. They have Shesterkin and Jonathan Quick, who's been known as a playoff riser multiple times in his career. But team is so good. But on the other side, Carolina's great too. They have plenty of playoff risers in Aho, Slavin, Seth Jarvis. I mean, I'm very excited to see who wins that series.
This is why I wish the NHL changed their playoff format, because this really isn't like a
first or second round.
This isn't a second round series. Like this is Eastern Conference almost. Finals, I know that like obviously can't happen, but it's like that type of good series we're seeing here. It's going to be high level play. I think it's going to come down to what team can win on the road, because Carolina is so good at home. New York is obviously so good at home. It's going to come down to who can steal one on the road. And that might not be until game 7, but it's going to be New York obviously took care of business game 1, but it's going to be back and forth punches. Just who can handle the hits the hardest, who can just be who's more battle tested in the series is what's going to come down to, and who can just steal one on the road.
Yeah, I 1000% agree with you. Whoever steals one on the road
is going to win the series.
Takes the series, because home ice advantage in the playoffs is so huge, and teams take advantage of it so many times. And I mean, I remember, I think it was 2 years ago when the Bruins played Carolina. They couldn't win in Carolina. It went all the way 7, and every home team won up until game 7 when it went to Carolina, and Carolina took it. That Carolina team is deep, experienced, and I think they're ready to win. They've come up short the past few years, but I think they're ready to win. And if they get through this series, I think I can very easily see them coming out of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, no, I do too. I saw some odds. The Carolina's favored to win the Cup. Rangers obviously got some President's Trophy experience. So this is going to be a great series. I'm excited. Yeah, I think whoever wins on the road, I think will win the series. Who knows? Might be game 2. Might be later on. New York steals one in Carolina. But it's going to be an exciting series. And game 1 proved that this is 2 great teams, and it's going to be back and forth. And I'm excited, but I threw some money on the Rangers yesterday, so I'm happy for that. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a sports betting advice podcast at one point.
We might have to.
Yeah. But with that being said, I think that will kind of wrap up our segment on the hockey. And yeah, we're excited, like we said, to be going full time with this podcast. Videos every day, Monday through Friday, and just kind of going to try different things. And we're excited just to live out our dream as sports management majors. But with that being said, we'll get you guys in the next one. Peace.
See ya.